Dare to dream? That sounds so cliche. When you have an idea or a dream, consider, pray, plan, pros and cons. Keep on keeping on.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Glen Kirkpatrick. Previously, episode number 50 on the 12-minute Convos podcast. We spoke 3 years, 23 days, 2 hours ago.
I'm a 3-time 29-year cancer survivor, but I will say this attitude of persevering, making the best of what comes to me in daily life, it took me many years to really start to look at it with the best possible attitude.
Glen, it's a pleasure to connect with you. What's going on? Update us, please.
Good morning, Engel, from San Diego, California. And it's great to talk again. 50th episode. Wow. And today you'll maybe have time to tell me what episode you're on now.
Well, most definitely. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'll tell you, we're definitely over 2,300 episode number.
Wow. So what's happening? Family?
Family is great. What's going on with you, with your family? I mean, what's going on with Debbie? How's she going?
Debbie's wonderful. Debbie has a new job in the same career field in animal health care. She's a supervisor at an animal hospital. She's thriving in that position. I think of also my 3 sons, daughter-in-law, Carmen, and how we're incredibly blessed to live 3 doors down from our grandchildren.
Wow.
Zion and Isabel. Zion will be 5 this year, Isabel 2, and they're a blast.
Well, I can imagine having a grandfather that is now a 3-time cancer survivor. I can well imagine how they look up to you.
I think over time, they're so young. We are bonded, and it's a beautiful thing.
So I was so close to you, but time didn't permit that we connected when we were in the San Diego area. You are still in Solana Beach, are you?
We moved inland about 15 minutes to be closer to our son, daughter, and grandkids. Thanks for remembering Solana Beach, because Deb and I still get to the coast 1 or 2 times a week.
I'm so sorry you can't experience the Caribbean beach. Or have you experienced the Caribbean beach already?
We've not been to Trinidad and Tobago. We have been to Puerto Rico. We've been to Turks Caicos. We've been to St. Thomas. Now, that was a cruise. My wife likes cruises a lot. I like that it gets you to where you want to go. And what I mean by that is I don't care for it as much. But my point is, once we're there on those islands, I just want more time than we had. And that's perhaps a future trip.
Oh, well, hopefully we get you over here to Trinidad. That'll be fun, where you don't need to cruise to get back. You could just take a plane, yeah? No, the last time we spoke, you were at the beginning of completing your book, Overcoming Daily, My Story of Surviving Cancer. Since then, I'm guessing you've already completed the book. Give us an update of the details, please.
Thanks for asking. We first self-published the book, and maybe a year and a half later, I received an email seemingly out of the blue from a publisher who I had sent a query about, are they interested in the book? And they answered, oh, the one you emailed now has their own publishing company, and, here's their information. Long story short, I sent that publisher, Touchpoint Press, the manuscript. They said they loved it. They sent Debbie and I a contract.
Wow.
We did our due diligence. We know 2 gentlemen who are publishers. One's retired. And they looked over the contract, and it was all thumbs up if we chose to do it. Debbie and I chose to do it. So they published the book, and that was March of last year.
Congratulations. How does it make you feel, like, looking back from now to then, to when you set that goal to accomplish this? How does it make you feel to see it grow?
Well, at the time, it was amazing and unbelievable in a good way that after so many challenges, difficulties, and no publisher interested at the time, to have the book published. Everything was new. As the newness wore off, I really dove into marketing and was happy to learn all those new things about pitching the book. A lot were practicals. The next fun thing was I began to pursue and then scheduled book signings with Debbie, of course, at Barnes & Noble bookstores and a library. And Debbie just shines in that environment. She's very much a people person. So that was a blast. at every occasion, every bookstore, and the library in Del Mar down by the coast.
It's so much fun that I can say that I know where Del Mar is, like I was there. It's so much fun to be able to say that.
Yes, and the interaction with people, for me, learning marketing. Now, the newness wears off, but it seems like there's always something new on the horizon. But I've learned a ton, and one of the gifts to us is, sure, we wanted to sell books. We wanted to get the message of the book out. Additionally, we've had some pleasure of giving signed autograph gift copies to folks who perhaps needed to hear the message or were going through a trial, cancer or not. And I didn't see that coming. That's been a joy.
Well done, my friend. I'm really proud of you. You are a fighter. I want to say thanks. I want to say thanks for being that individual that showed up 3 years, 23 days, 2 hours ago to record this conversation, because it now stands as the foundation of who I am and what I do. I'm so thankful for that. Looking back, do you have any regrets of making the decision and following through after all of these years?
No, none.
Now, there's another part I've seen. There's a new undertaking. You're designing and doing another new business here. Tell us a bit more about what you're doing with the T-shirts and the branding.
Thanks for bringing it up. So March of this year, we launched an e-commerce store with a Shopify platform where you subscribe to it each month, and basically you build out and personalize the website. I identified an app for product, apparel, and accessories, and so now it's continually in development, but we have a store, an e-commerce store, that folks can view and purchase, if they choose, products. And what's wild is this concept is Deb and I don't carry any inventory. Very little startup costs. And then, yes, there's money for some marketing and whatnot if you're going to do it right. It is something that I can do even on any limited day due to fatigue, energy, or a small budget. So it's a full-blown e-commerce store. I still have a great vision for it to grow and to include, be a legacy for our sons, whether 1, 2, or 3 are interested in taking it over. But we'll back up. We're in our infancy.
Yes.
I'm having a blast again. It's a very creative thing. Like the writing was creative, not that this is like the writing. The learning curve can be a wonderful challenge. So yeah, we have that store.
Faith-inspired apparel and accessories, right?
Yes.
I love it. So the process is key to note and enjoy. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and after a particular sermon at church, I asked my wife, it was about what is your vocation and kind of dreaming big, and I was inspired, and we're driving from church to lunch. I said, Debbie, what is it about me, the book and now the e-commerce? There's some common thread. I don't have it quite figured out. But one thing I did realize is since I was a young man, I've always needed to work. I believe we were created to work, produce, create. It's just shown differently in each of our lives. So that's it. Here I find myself building out, operating an e-commerce store when nobody was pushing me to work or take on a new challenge. So yes, very rewarding. And again, a byproduct I didn't see coming. I begin to help others who are starting a store, thinking about starting a store.
Wow.
And they can learn from my mistakes and things that have gone well.
Now, this November, you're going to be celebrating your 63rd birthday, if I did my maths correctly.
Yes.
And you leaping beyond so many, there's like the stigmatization of, oh, that's for the younger folks. But to see that you're doing this, congratulations, Glen. And again, another opportunity to express. When I speak to you, hopefully not in the next 3 years, but before that, to see what you've accomplished again. Glen, this conversation has been my greatest pleasure. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, that I've been looking forward to speaking to you, that, dare to dream, that sounds so cliche. So when you have an idea or a dream, consider, pray, plan, pros and cons, talk to your confidants, and wherever you can, step out into those waters and begin that dream, even if it redirects you toward, another dream for your life. Keep on keeping on.
Keep going, right? Never give up. I love it. Keep on keeping on. I love it. All right, my friend. Well, again, great pleasure. Glen, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.